Hello, Leah and Michelle, Resistance Chicks, coming at you February 17th, 2017.
So yesterday there was a march and a protest. It was called Day Without Immigrants. And a lot of people are voicing their opinions about what would be immigrants. You might wonder, why are we all in green? Well, you know that half of us, our grandfather came over from Sweden on a boat. He was
Swedish.
An immigrant,
yes.
Well,
as many of your
that
forefathers.
was my grandfather on my mother's side, who also married a Scandinavian woman.
That was your grandfather on your father's side.
Whatever. This is my grandmother.
On our mother's side.
She was an Irish lass.
She was very proud of her.
Her father actually came over.
This is her last name, Dyer, her maiden name.
From Ireland himself when he was a boy.
Right.
So my mom is as much Irish almost as we are Swedish. So we've got a lot. This is our grandma's house, and we bought her house. And so I thought that
on St. Patty's Day.
Exactly.
It was kind of cool.
2010. So a month away from St. Patty's Day, we thought we'd bring to you a nice little story from our Irish blood and from our Irish ancestors who were, in fact, Irish immigrants. Now, you might know a little bit about history. When Irish Catholics came over here, to begin with, they were treated worse than the Mexicans.
They were spit
They
upon.
were treated like dirt, you know. Irish Catholics, you say the word Irish Catholics and they just spit on the ground. Well, here you go. I wanted to show you a few of them. We've got she's got little things everywhere. She went over there to Ireland. She brought back everything. I have no idea what this one says. Of course, this one says Ireland on it. It's got some nice little 3-leaf clovers. I don't know why it doesn't have 4-leaf clovers. You'd think it'd be luckier, you know. So here's the thing. In talking about immigrants, and we've been talking about it, the Peanut Gallery had a wonderful idea. My green-eyed mother, she's so beautiful. My grandmother had green eyes, you know. I've got 2 uncles and 1 aunt with bright red hair. I got 4 cousins with bright red hair.
It runs in our family.
Yes, the rest of the Swedish side, we're just stocky.
We got the big bones, you know.
Yes, we're the Vikings. So grandmother, she would wear these scarves like all the time, every day, but she wasn't a Muslim. She wore them because she wanted to.
There you go.
She wore them because she liked to protect her little permanent. So I thought I'd, in my honor of my grandmother, I don't think she wore it like this, but I thought maybe I would during this episode.
It looks good.
All right. Okay, so we want to talk about the immigrants. But first off, I'd like to talk about this thing called white privilege, you know. That when the white Irish Catholics were coming over here, they didn't actually experience the white privilege that we keep hearing and talk about over
and
over
don't you
again.
wonder why they didn't get it?
I don't know exactly why. People just didn't like Irish, and they didn't like the Catholics for sure. It was a Protestant Catholic thing, you know. They didn't like the church and everything like that.
We've experienced a lot of that from our viewers. A little bit of the Catholic Protestant.
Let's love each other, you know. Let's get back to the loving. All right. So here's the thing, you guys. We were thinking about this wonderful white privilege, and I was thinking about the European invasion. The Muslim migrants and asylum
and you
seekers.
had a pretty good idea, I think.
I think it would be really good if we could do some exchanging.
A foreign exchange.
A foreign exchange where the white privilege, ones with the white privilege and the magic fairy dust, can go over to the brown people's countries and spread the magic fairy dust of white privilege, you know.
It's kind of contagious.
Because I was reading through this article, and it was saying here how that America can't really live very much without immigrants.
That all the restaurants, how many was the percentage?
I think it was like 80% or 70% of those employed in cities such as New York and Chicago.
So they're trying to tell us that if we didn't have any immigrants or migrants,
you wouldn't get your hamburger.
You wouldn't have your hamburgers.
It also says that they can't go back to their countries. It's too bad. And that's the real point of this foreign exchange program. And I'd really like to see Miss Merkel to sign up first for this. I really think because
I think that Hillary Rodham Clinton could be second.
Exactly. And now while we're lining people up, I think we should line up Barack Obama, because many of you don't know.
He's 50% white. He's got 50% of that white privilege running through his veins.
He does, and he really embodies it. He became president of the United States. I don't really think he was the first black president. I think it was his white privilege that got him elected.
Absolutely, I agree.
I think so, really. So here's the thing. I don't really feel like I have white privilege, so it really wouldn't work for me and you. You know, we lived in government housing despite the fact that our father's side was really wealthy. We opened up our cabinets a few times as kids and we're like, hey, Mom, how do you make macaroni and cheese with water? You know, butter.
That was more than a couple of times. It doesn't taste very good.
No, it doesn't, but it works. It keeps you alive. Not very healthy, but alive. So here's the thing. This is how it's going to work. For every asylum seeker or migrant or even immigrant that wants to come over here illegally.
That's a very key word I want y'all to take notice to.
Illegally. For those who want to come in this country illegally, and we feel so bad for them, right? If you come in...
Our hearts really do bleed for them.
We wouldn't be here without legal immigration. That's what the whole point of all this. We believe in legal immigrants. We believe in multiculturalism to a point where you do things according to the law. All right.
You come to America and you enjoy your history.
Exactly.
We enjoy our Irish history. We enjoy our Swedish history, but we become Americans.
Exactly. My mom would always say, you're not Irish, you're not Swedish, and there's a little German in there. But she said,
you're American.
You're American. All right.
Aye, lassies.
Here's the thing, though. For all of those of you who say that we need to bring in no walls, no borders, no nothing. All right? Here's the thing. What you're going to do is you're going to hightail your little white privilege honey, because you know it's white. It gets no sun.
That's why they call it where the sun don't shine.
Where the sun don't shine. If you're white where the sun don't shine,
then you're white.
Okay, how do you know if I got white privilege? Check your honey. Okay. All right.
We hear a lot of people going, what about the honey? Am I white? Come and look at my honey. I can't tell. This is so. And the husband comes in like, dude, honey, I ain't seen that honey in a while, and I just really ain't want to see your honey. Okay, we're done with that. All right, I love you, but I ain't want to see your honey.
Some black people, I say, I think I might be white. Boom, ching. All right. So here's the thing. You take a Miss Merkel and you take a Hillary Rodham Clinton and you do a prisoner exchange, all right?
It's not a prisoner exchange. It's a foreign exchange.
Okay, the foreign exchange. All right, but I'd really like to see Hillary Rodham Clinton in prison, so that's just wishful thinking. All right, so you take them and you set them down in South America or in Syria or in Iraq. How many of you would like to see Miss Merkel in Syria permanently? All right. Well, we're going to line her straight up right there in this foreign exchange program. And here's the thing. Every news media, every radio star, every movie star, every singer.
All of y'all people in Hollywood that have done your Irish accent. Y'all know who you are.
You're promoting all this crazy free asylum and free immigration for all of the illegal people coming over here illegally.
And many of you believe in population control, so we can't have too many people be coming into America. So you got to go. If you want to let them in, you've got to get out of here.
So you hand them the keys to your car and you hand them the keys to your house, and you might as well hand them your job, because I looked it up and I think the figure's about $6.4 billion that we here in America pay for illegal immigrants in their food stamps and their housing and their medical care. So here's the thing, when you're thinking that you're getting a deal with your $2 strawberries, it's really costing you $3 or $4. But they just coming around in your taxes and you can't really tell. So you're really not saving any money by getting in illegal immigrants. You're just getting it in the rear end on the way back. So here's the thing. It may not come in your grocery bill, but it's in on your other bills. It's in on your taxes here and there all over the place, you know. And so this is a really great idea. Because here's the thing. If those of you who think that they were born with little white pixies and everything coming off. They got fairies, the white privilege fairies.
Don't you know that Tinkerbell drops down white privilege dust?
I do know that. I do know that on some people. And so for those of them who have the white privilege and the fairy dust magic, you can go into Syria and bam, you can fix it just like that. I'm sure of it.
Well, you can start having babies over there, and then your babies can start spreading the white privilege.
Exactly. That's exactly what they need down there in Mexico. They say, in this article, they say Mexico's a horrible place to live, and they don't want to live there. You know why it's so horrible? They don't have enough white privilege down there.
Yeah, and they need to spread it.
Exactly. So if
we as America, we've been hanging on to too many people, and I've got to quite a list as long as
why aren't white people in America moving to these other countries to spread their white privilege?
I don't know.
You could solve world hunger. You could solve dehydration. You could solve all these water problems if the white privilege people went to these bad places. You could solve. I'm sure the war in Syria would be over if just one white person went over there and said, "Hey, well, look at my white privilege. I will come and fix this thing right now."
Well, look how well it did down in Africa when they started putting white people there. Look at the white privilege. Look how much it spread to everybody there.
I don't think think Nelson Mandela really thinks pretty well of that. Really high of that.
Listen, people, y'all gotta wake up. I am sick and tired of all this white privilege. You got white privilege. I guarantee you, you take your most privileged white person in America, I don't know, send Bill Gates down there, all right, without his money, okay, and he's got his white privilege, and he walk down there, I'm guarantee you, they ain't gonna think any better of him.
Well, now that you're talking like that and thinking about it, there's a lot of people in America, and they're quite poor. They kind of live in Appalachia. They live in Matt's old little town of Leon, Kansas.
They live down in Hazard, Kentucky.
Their white privilege, it's
don't
broken. It's broken, you know, and I really think that they need some help. So don't send them, because their white privilege is just broken. It wouldn't work.
Right.
It really wouldn't work. So getting over here to this article, A Day Without Immigrants, it seems that they decided to protest and walk out of the jobs and walk out of their schools so that you would experience what it was like to live a day without immigrants. Shop owners and restaurants, they shut down in solidarity. Others were there to show support for friends and family and all these things. I'd like to remind you that we're not against immigrants. It's the word before that that's the problem.
It's called illegal.
It's called illegal because what
you know what that means? It means that it's not legal.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
It's that simple. You know, there's a lot of laws in America that I don't quite agree with, and they are illegal. But you know what? This isn't one of them. You got to come in here illegally. You got to get a passport. You got to cross over so we know exactly who you are, because there's a lot of things going on in this whole world, and bad people want to do a lot of bad things.
Many of you people are leaving comments, a lot of our Brexiter fans and things like that, they're saying, listen, it is too late for us here in Europe. America, wake up, do not let the same thing happen to you. And it's really unfortunate. We have, so many people really, their hearts bleed and they want to help people, but you have no idea what this opening up of a can of worms would be and what it would mean to America if we were to let this go forward.
What it has meant to America.
Yeah.
The idea here is that it says that immigrants make up the majority of 12 million workers in the restaurant industry and up to 70% of those employed in cities such as New York and Chicago. But I do want you to know that before the influx of illegal immigrants, the restaurants still operated.
Exactly.
And the prices never went down, just to let you know. As I was reading through this, it says from doctors to dishwashers, immigrants are integral to the daily life of the United States.
Duh.
No one
is saying that.
No one is saying that immigrants are bad. No one. We love immigrants. We love to have.
There is such a pride that we all take as Americans when we watch the people go through the immigration classes and everything like that, and to pass, they know our history and they make sure they know English and all this stuff, and then they become American citizens, and they are proud of that American citizenship, and we as Americans are proud.
They said that their goal today is for the president to notice how important immigrants are for the country and for the economy, and how bad it would be for the economy if the immigrants were in this country. But I have to let you know, the country's always been immigrants. What you want to push is illegal immigrants. And I'm here to tell you, we don't need illegal immigrants to keep things moving.
Right.
And we have been over this. You bring the brown people over here, they become, as Kelly Osbourne once said, "Oh, Mr. Trump, who's going to clean your toilet?"
Which is everybody keeps accusing the people in the I would just call it the Trump camp, whatever, who are in support of the decisions that President Trump are making. They're calling them racist, and it is the complete opposite. You don't understand, because they are saying we want these illegal immigrants here because we want them to clean our toilets, we want them to pick the strawberries, we want them to do all the undesirable jobs that we as Americans don't want to do. That is racist. We want the people to come here legally in order to be able to get real jobs and become a real American citizen, a first-class citizen, not a second, not a third, not a fourth-class citizen, which is what the people that are really wanting illegal immigrants to be able to stay here for want.
There's a difference between an immigrant who really comes in and embraces the American culture.
Right.
You come here illegally, you become an American, just like my mom says.
Illegally.
You come here legally, and you embrace America. You become an American.
Right.
All right. And
that doesn't mean you have to let go of your heritage, but that means you have to embrace
We have
America.
a good friend, Ashley, whose family, her grandparents came over from Italy, and they love their Italian heritage, but they will tell you till the day they die, they're Americans.
Yes.
You know, and the Mexicans and the South Americans who come over here, a lot of them just come over here for the jobs. And it's not like, and you see them in the marches and everything like that. I'm just going to play a little bit of this in the background. You see them, a lot of them are with their other flags, the Mexican flags.
Workers and students, parents and children, but
Just let it play for a second.
That's fine. And I just think that it's unfortunate.
In support of immigrant rights and to denounce what
But
they
it's not
say
immigrant
are the
rights.
racist
Right, no,
forms of
it's
the Trump
illegal
administration's
immigrant
approach
rights.
to immigration.
Which there really isn't.
People
There's
are
not very
scared.
many rights.
And this way, people are showing up and say, you know, we refuse to be kept in the shadows.
If you're doing something illegal, that's why gang members hide in the shadows. You're saying I'm a gang member and I want to come out of the shadows.
Right.
They get false social security cards. What happens if I get a false social security card? They get false documents. They get false birth certificates. What if I show a false birth certificate? What if I get a false license? Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm not for rounding up everybody and knocking on everybody's door. But if you get caught doing something wrong, yeah, I'm sorry. You know, we're libertarians. You know, it's not like we're the Gestapo knocking on everybody's door, right? If you happen to get over here in America, well then, but if you get caught, I'm sorry, you're going back.
Right.
That's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go up and question every Mexican walking down the street, but I am going to wonder when there's so many of them. Right. And I hear and I know that they're crossing over illegally.
I just feel like it flies in the face of every single immigrant that has had to go through years and painstaking. And can you imagine the hardship that they have to go through in order, and the classes, and they have to study, and they have to learn a new language. They work so hard.
You have to pass the test in English.
And these people want to come over and just be like, you know what? Who cares that you had to work that hard? We've got here and we're staying.
Exactly.
That's what it is, and it's not right.
Exactly. That's a really good point.
It's really not fair to the people that have to work so hard
to become a real citizen. That's a really, really good point. They have to answer questions, harder questions than we would in school.
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
our history.
Yeah.
So you have to come, and that's why it comes through.
Because otherwise, here's the thing you guys don't understand. If you don't have to pass those classes, and you don't have to learn our history, and you have an influx of other people migrating here just because they don't like the way that it is in their country, and you're not embracing what America is, we will lose what America is.
And that's what the Democrats are trying to do, because they want to bring them in and say, we're going to get you through.
Right.
But
because if they can lose what America is, and they can lose patriotism, then you can be engulfed in a new world order. You can be involved in
what's
in
happening all
government.
over the EU.
Right.
And just to let everybody know that this is set up to start a war between Muslims and a native Europeans or whatever, because they know that there's going to be a clash, and that's why they have this influx, because obviously they're not working on farms. I don't really see them. These asylum workers are stuck in the cities. They're not actually working. They're not being put to work. They're not doing anything, you know, and they don't actually need them. And so you've got to be able to think clearly with your head, and if you're going to think with your heart, join the foreign exchange program.
Yeah.
And so for every lesson laddie who wants to see somebody over here from Syria and Iraq, then you can just hightail yourself back over there. It's just a simple thing. I think it's a good thing. Go spread your white privilege.
Yeah, because you won't be hungry because you've got white privilege.
It'll take you through all the way to the end of your life, through your grave. We'll give you a toothbrush. Sayonara. Could we send we got Cher and Madonna and Ashley Judd, we could send right over there. They could go over there to, I think they should go to Afghanistan really right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some girls in Afghanistan. They got married and they hated their lives so much that they doused themselves with gasoline and set themselves on fire. I know. So I think that Ashley Judd should go over there first.
And she can ride in the back of the bus.
In the back of the bus.
Where all the other women have to ride.
So, here's our little report on the Day Without Immigrants. What do you think, y'all? Thumbs up if you would like the foreign exchange program.
Listen, guys, we have an amusement park. It's very, very popular around here. Y'all should come and visit it. It's called Kings Island. It's fantastic. It's so much fun. We grew up going there. We got season passes every year. We moved out to Oklahoma for 5 years. We came back, And instead of having the high schoolers doing the sweeping up cigarette butts and picking up the trash, which is what we had friends that did that. It was a lowly job, a humbling job, but that was a job. Instead, we come back 5 years later and the Mexicans have that job. Now tell me that you guys that want them to come over here in order to do those jobs are not the racist ones.
That is a little bit racist, but I tell you what,
So that they
I'd
do
really
the
like
worst
them
job.
to learn English. Taco and burrito, you're halfway there. Come on. Those are English words, right? We know those.
The point is that before the Mexicans came, kids actually had to work hard in the low-level jobs. They're called entry-level jobs for
They
a
were roofing.
reason.
White people would do the roofing.
Do you
Now all
know-
the Mexicans do all the roofing.
Do you know
all
how
the
many-
landscaping is done by
I
Mexicans.
have so many business owners that are in there, well, they range from 25 to 65, and they will tell me over and over and over again, Michelle, I can't get kids to work. Teenagers refuse to do manual labor. Okay? And it's because they are so used to their little white privilege, and the Mexicans come over and do that job. I wouldn't do that. A Mexican does that job. It's wrong. It's creating these first-class citizens, viewing Mexicans as second-class citizens,
Well,
and that's
the
why we want them to
Chinese
stay
too.
so that they can be our slaves.
Making all
You
the
guys,
right
it's
stuff.
so wrong. When you invite people to come over legally as legal immigrants, they become part of America, then you have a respect for that person, and they can get a real job and live as a real first-class American citizen. We care about the immigrants coming over here. The ones that want them to stay illegally don't.
I think you're right about that, Les.
All
So
right.
we'll end it up. Thanks for watching. This has been Resistance Chicks.
Signing off where it's not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks, and find us on Facebook where we can interact with you there on a daily
Show them
basis.
your ring. Did you show them your ring?
Oh, this is my Clara ring. Do you know what this is? This came from me grandma. It's got two hands and a heart, and it's holding a heart, and you wear it this way, and it faces out. It means you're single, and then when you're married, you can turn it around, and it means that you're not. It's kind of a purity ring. I don't know.
I kind of like it a lot.
It's a very Irish thing.
We miss our grandma.
We miss our grandma.
All right.
Okay.
God rest your soul, Grandma. This episode's for you because she really didn't like the illegal immigrants.
She didn't.
She wasn't racist.
She wasn't racist. She didn't want them to come over and clean her toilet. All right, guys. We love you. God bless.